screensaver. Let me open this up. Sorry about that. Hello, I'm O Speaks. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, share. What's going on? Uncle L, what's up, man? Lou, Miss Just J, how you guys doing? So I didn't realize how close I am now to getting the 600 subscribers. This is crazy because it about 2 months ago I was on the road to 500. This is awesome. This is amazing, and I just wanted to thank people, especially my mods. All of the mods that I have, and I only have like four, but they've all been here since like the first three lives, which is crazy, crazy, and very, very humbling to know that people are willing to not just come watch and support, but to keep coming back and keep supporting. And I just wanted to thank people like Miss Just J, Miss Phoenix Rising. Mel is no longer on YouTube, unfortunately, but people like that. Um, that's the best support you can possibly have because they're literally here every time I go live. I've gone live uh, earlier in the day. I've gone live late in the evening, and it's like, holy crap! It's 11 o'clock at night. Miss Just Jay's in here saying, "What's up?" That's amazing, and like again, it's very very humbling. Uncle L's another one, awesome supporter. Lou Jenkins, always coming back, and there's so many. I don't want to go down the line, but the people who are in this chat, I've learned something about. You guys are my support during my live streams. My demographic is actually growing according to my analytics, which is really, really cool. Again, I'm really, really excited about this. Because I have so many newer subscribers, I want to restate my purpose. But my newer demographic is actually younger. So there's a tier, and I'm gonna get the numbers wrong. We'll just say there's target age groups. We'll just say uh, the teenage demographic, and then you got like the 20s to early 30s, and then you got the 30s to 40s. I now have just as many followers in the 20s and 30s bracket, which is the age group up below mine, which is really interesting. I don't know why. I can't explain it. How you doing, Miss Chicago? But it's really cool to see that there are people looking for information. Here's another interesting thing that I found when I was looking at the analytics. I have a big following in Europe and Canada. So while you guys are here, the Lions, while you guys are here supporting in the chat, when I end my live, I have a following that not that I wasn't aware that they were there, because you get a few views here, you get 50 to 100 views. It's awesome, but over half of those now, or around half of those now, are coming from overseas, and I'm like, huh, what's going on here? So again, I wanted to state my purpose because I stated it very early on in my first few lives, and I realized um, I've never reiterated what I'm doing here. What's my purpose? Why am I doing this? What am I doing? Um, we've been, and again, this isn't just for Black people, but Black people have been played by the left, whether it's Black people on the left, white people on the left, doesn't matter. We've been played, and we've been convinced that we can't have an impact. Uh, Everyone's against us, so there's really no reason for us to pay attention to politics. I've said this before. We'll literally say, "I don't do politics. I don't do religion or faith. I don't talk about that stuff." It's too not just controversial, but it's too much to argue, and people don't really like conflict. Most people don't like conflict. A lot of people do, but because we've been played like that, we don't pay as much attention. And I believe because I pay way too much attention, I can share stuff that you may have heard about or may have not heard about. You may have heard about it and um, got a perspective from a left leaning media, which it really is. So, another thing that I used to say every live is I lean to the right politically, not just politically, in all things. I lean to the right because it more suits my way of life and how I want my kids. Well, now they're all grown up except one, but how I want my kids, how we want our kids to grow, and morally, politically, how we want to live our lives lines up more with conservatism. And the demographics and statistics overwhelmingly show that Black people are more conservative. But for some reason, we vote in the 90 percentile of our community for the left. The left is literally the party of slavery. The left is literally after they lost the war on slavery, they created new laws. They created Jim Crow laws. They created everything that we've fought against has come from the left. The Ku Klux Klan has come from the left. And for some reason, that's who we support. And there are several reasons. I've gone over those early in my life. Maybe I'll rehash some of that stuff. Maybe I'll just repost it and do short form videos on them. But there are many reasons why we do this. So my purpose is to give information from my perspective, which is right leaning, which is more aligned with what the demographics and the statistics say we are. That's my purpose. I noticed I do these trigger warnings, and I know it makes people mad. There are a lot of topics that are going to make you mad, but I don't do it for the purpose of making you mad. I do it for the purpose of showing you this is real. And the goal for me is to let you guys understand what's going on so that we can combat it, not just to walk away mad like I can't believe these rainbow people. And when I cover this up, when I say they're coming for your kids, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to let you know, hey, they're coming for your kids. You may want to pay more attention to the schools. You may want to pay more attention to these video games, because this is what my lives are on. This is what I'm talking about. So I'm saying, hey, just so you know, father, talk to your son and say, hey, this is how we do this, and this is why we do this. This is how you behave in this situation. This is when you walk away. This is when you can't walk away. This is when you defend. This is when you stay out of it. That's our role to show. And obviously, on top of modeling our behaviors, we have responsibilities. That's why I show videos like what I did, was that yesterday, day before, when I went over the whole Ray J thing. It's like, this is not how you behave. I don't want online influencers influencing my kids. I want my kids to watch. If they want to watch, that's fine. But I want them to have in the back of their mind what I've taught them. That's why I do what I do. I'm not trying to make people mad on every live stream. Today's going to be another one. But the purpose is not to make you mad. I mean, you could get frustrated as long as it moves you toward action. As long as you're ready to say, yeah, I'm not going to allow this. And then again, call your kids to the side. Hey, this is the right way to do things. So when they hear the wrong way, they come back to you and say, hey, this person said this. And you can say, nope, no, we don't do that. Don't worry about that. Respect them, respect other opinions, but don't go down that road. And it also gives you a chance to explain things, hopefully not too soon. What's going on, Island Milligan? So that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm here. And as my audience grows, I need to do a better job of continuing to state why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because again, I don't want you guys leaving mad from my live streams, because they're going to make you mad, because it's real. The stuff is real. Today, the topic of today's live is, as a Christian, how do you feel about a Black bisexual woman playing Jesus Christ as a Christian? Now, you don't have to be Christian to be like, that's not cool. That's not cool. It's an infiltration. And I've said this over and over and over and over and over. There is an agenda that is trying to infiltrate your home. They're trying to literally take your kids. And if they don't take your kids physically, they're trying to convince your kids that you're wrong. The parents are not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Don't trust your parents. Trust your teacher. Trust your counselor. Trust the person who's dressed up in a costume reading books to your kids. That's who you should trust. This is normal. Again, it's our job to say, nah, that ain't normal. Hey, if you want to watch, I guess you can watch, but understand what daddy says is what's real. What mommy says is what's real. Anybody else, come talk to me. And then I can reinforce what they're saying, or I can say, yeah, no, don't do that. Your kid should have more trust in you. And it feels like, it seems like it is an outside agenda trying to tell them that they know more. And I so many videos of them saying, it's our kids. It's not just the parents' kids. It's your kids. Parents, it's your kids. Your nephews, your nieces. That's my point. That's my purpose. That's why I do what I do. With that all said, again, thank you everybody for the support. This is crazy that when Miss Just J first came in here, I think we had like 10 subscribers. Now we're at like 570 something. And like I said, on the way to 600, I'm like, oh man, I never even thanked you guys for getting to 500. I remember recognizing it, but I didn't give credit to the people who are the reason that I got there. So if you know anybody who does not like Donald Trump or evil Republicans or MAGA, send them my way. Send them my way. I'll talk to them. I would love to have people up here who disagree with me. If you know somebody who is cool with all that and they're scared to say anything anyway, send them my way. Either way, send them my way. With that said, I have a video. I discovered a video. I was watching Piers Morgan clips and I saw this and I'm like, oh, come on. Now, to be clear, this is not happening now. This just happened about a week or two ago. But I haven't seen anything on this. And there just so happened to be something that I wanted to go over. So much so that because I'm gonna be traveling over the next few days, I didn't want to not talk about it until I get back on Tuesday. So I wanted to cover this, and here we go.
Told that theatrical roles should only be awarded to actors of the corresponding gender, race, or ethnicity. The strict moral code applied only to the oppressed minorities, which is why there are phrases like yellow face, Jew face, and trans face for describing roles usurped by boring Caucasians. But what about the role of Jesus Christ, a celibate Jewish man with Middle Eastern skin tone? That's been awarded to Cynthia Erivo, a bisexual British black lady who's playing the Messiah in a new production of Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl. Well, the reviews have been mixed. A gushing write-up in the LA Times spoke of a magnetic, heaven-sent performance that established God the Savior as a queer black woman, as many of us suspected might be the case all along. Ben Shapiro, however, called it emblematic of a feeling that the left is trying to dissolve the culture of the United States and a culture division between the Sydney Sweeney Americans and the Cynthia Erivo Americans. So which one is it? Jesus Christ Superstar, when it came out in the 70s, was deliberately designed to be very provocative, as we know, but it's never been as provocative as this performance. What is your response to it? I mean, from a musical perspective, it's been heralded as a great triumph, but obviously many feel it's crossed a line. What do you think?
All right. So if you don't know what Jesus Christ Superstar is, it's been around forever, since the 70s. This is the story of Jesus Christ Superstar. It is a rock opera that retells the story of the last week of Jesus' life, focusing on one relationship, or on the relationships and conflicts between him and Judas and Mary Magdalene. It explores themes of faith, betrayal, and the human condition through the lens of rock music. So when he says it was always edgy, that was from a musical standpoint. You're trying to convey gospel in a musical, and that's what used to frustrate people, and it's always frustrate people within the faith. This, however, is not the same. Clearly, I have no issue with black women. I have no issue with bisexual women. I do have an issue if you're going to make a black bisexual woman into my Lord and Savior. Like, what are we doing here? And there was a TV show called what is it? It just came out. What is it called? You have Iron Man, and then there's a new one. I should know this because I'm a Marvel guy. Ironheart. Ironheart. All right. Ironheart is a woke leftist iteration of a comic, and every comic book fan hated it. Got the worst ratings of any Marvel series or show or movie, period. But it was heralded and praised as one of the greatest things that Marvel has ever done. And the same thing happened with another Marvel series. Oh, what is it? What is it? I want to say it was. Which one was it? There was another Marvel series with Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan. I don't know the name of the series, but It was horrible. It was absolutely it was absolute trash. But at that time, they said it was the best thing Marvel had ever done. Why do they do this? Why do they say this? It's part of their agenda to sway people to watch things that they're not interested in, that they're not going to watch. They otherwise would have no interest in. No comic fan is going to watch this stuff. And then they get on the news and they get on their media runs and they disrespect the entire genre. And then when people don't show up, they say, "Oh no, you need to show up. This is the best thing Marvel's ever done." And it's really, really weird that they do that, but it is an attempt to influence people who otherwise would never watch. They get them in there and say, "Yeah, it's really woke," especially like this Ironheart. There's a hacker with blue hair. He's a gay black dude, not convincing at all. Every character in that show is clearly picked out as part of an agenda. And it's like, what are we doing here? They're recasting people as different races and all this. So this is not new. What we need to be aware of is why they're doing it and why they're praising it and why they're giving it, 5-star reviews or 90 something in Rotten Tomatoes when nobody watches it. It's trash. Captain Marvel. Yeah. No, it wasn't Captain Marvel. That was another one though. It was the Marvels. Yeah. Captain Marvel is another one. Awful, awful, awful. And the actress came out speaking politics. Nobody wants to hear that. We don't want that in our movies. We don't want that in our shows. We don't want that in our music. It's been established already by everyone that stuff will not do well outside of their core audience. So it was the Marvels. Pretty sure it was the Marvels. But either way, we don't want to hear that. We don't go to football games to watch people kneel and give political statements. We just don't. You can't force things on an audience especially one that's already established. If you want to create a new one, go ahead, create a whole new genre of comics. It's been done in book form. They've done it. Nobody reads it. So again, there's an agenda, and this Broadway play or musical got rave reviews. Why? They're disrespecting Christianity. Would they ever do this with Muhammad? Would they ever do this with Islam? Anyway, let's hear what these people have to say because this is funny. It's not very long. I just wanted to cover it, like I said, because I was like, you've got to be kidding. And then there's some irony towards the end of this.
Oh, it's been heralded as a great triumph, has it? When are they going to do Muhammad on ice? So what they do is they're banking on the fact that there is Christian pacifism and that we won't give the sorts of violent pushback that they would get if they were mocking other religions. So they kind of bank on that. What this is homosexual infiltration, once again, of the church. This is what they do. This is all they do. This is a GLAAD award, Nosferatu-looking chick. And here's what they did. They didn't just get everything wrong. They didn't even include the resurrection, any of the Christian themes. The whole thing is a total mockery. And who cares if a bunch of liberals write up, "Oh, this was great. This was a musical masterpiece." Of course they're going to say that. That's what they do. That's how propaganda works. This entire thing was designed to attack Christianity, and it's always that way. That's the way it always is.
And last year, the French or Paris Olympics, we saw this on full display again. They made fun of the Last Supper and pretended that it was not the Last Supper. It was something else from Greek mythology and nonsense. We saw what it was. It was clear what it was. The main person, the gay lady or whatever, all right. The alternative lifestyle woman who played Jesus said it that's what it was. She said it. She openly said it, and then they erased that from Twitter or X, and they said, no, this is about a Greek god or the god of whatever. And it's like, no, that's not what it is. But they gaslit everyone who was like, this is evil. There were performances in there that were clearly satanic. There were in those very Olympics, there were men beating the hell out of women in boxing matches for medals. They're getting rewarded for beating women. And at the time, they said, oh, no. He can't be gay, or he can't be trans and the reasoning was, if he were trans, there's no way he could live where he's from because they would unalive him. And it's like, or he can just be lying. If they think he's a woman, they wouldn't do that. So what do you mean that's the reason? That's the justification. Turns out they finally released the information 2-3 months ago. It's a man. He's refusing to test for the world. He's supposed to go to the Worlds to qualify for the next Olympics. He's refusing to test now because they didn't test before. They just took his word for it. They knew it because he had been banned from previous boxing organizations. So this is an agenda. They openly mock one faith. Now, if they were doing this universally, I'd have no issue with it. None at all. Because then I know at least it's fair. This is just like the media. If they would report both sides, I have no issue with it. I don't like when you deceive me and you pretend that you're interested in giving out fair information. They're not interested in that. They just want to sway a narrative and sway you.
Ernest, I saw you perform one of the great eye rolls in Uncensored History just then, but I do think Andrew has a point. There's absolutely zero chance that Hollywood would have staged a musical like this which openly mocked the tenets of Islam, for example.
I think that Jesus Christ Superstar in its creation, the whole title, if you ever seen it, have you actually seen it, Andrew? Like, if you actually seen it, everything that you're saying would actually be argued that it's already been done. Like, no children are watching this to learn about Christ. The type of people that you're thinking of that would be offended by this would probably not even spend the kind of money to watch this show live, and would not have any interest to watch it just because they know that it is an adult-themed musical that is meant to be provocative since it was in its inception for decades.
It's meant to mock Christianity, right?
And let's take this guy's perspective and really think about what he's saying. This isn't for you, is what he's saying. Now, if it was a play about Jewish people, and they were running around with silly little yarmulkes, and then they maybe put a dress on a couple of them, would he be saying this? Or would he be saying this is an outrage? Because to be fair to racists, to be fair to skinheads, it's not for me. It's not for most people here, hopefully. So does that mean it's okay? This isn't your audience. Don't worry about it. There's no kids there. Why not just let them be? Leave them alone. Leave the skinheads, leave the KKK, leave white nationalists alone. This is what his argument is. Because it's not meant for you. So he would not be outraged. There's no way he'd be outraged. Now, this guy always talks about MAGA rallies. Why? It's not for him. Their logic never, if you follow their logic all the way through, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, you can say that. I find it to be satirical.
Yeah,
I don't.
It's meant to mock Christianity. Just be honest about it. Just be honest and say, Andrew, it's meant to mock Christianity. It's not for you Christians to watch. We're mocking you. That's what we're doing. That's what the point is.
Well, I mean, if you have a taste for satire and humor, you can appreciate that as a Christian. I think a lot of people who know Cynthia Erivo, she sings gospel phenomenally well. She's an incredible singer, and she's done several different types of shows, and she has a range of that. And so for anybody who wants to take this seriously, make a culture war out of it, I mean, is this the case for cancel culture part two?
I don't think the argument here is that Christians are allergic to humor. I think the argument here is that it's clear that you would never do this with the Dalai Lama, for example, or with Muhammad and the Islamic religion. And so I think that's where people take issue with with it. And actually, the original Jesus Christ Superstar was quite consistent with what happened in the Bible in terms of the theology behind it. This is just basically a bold black. I mean, they could have at least put a wig on her. It's so weird seeing her have the crown of thorns on her head, and it's just basically this bold, shiny head. They're clearly taking the mickey out of what actually happened.
And not just that, they misrepresented every single aspect of Jesus by having that woman there. Again, so she's bald. It's a woman. It's a black woman. And then she's gay. Mocked every single aspect of Jesus. It's like, what are we doing here? And to have this guy act like it's no big deal. This is the same guy who will complain about a comedian who uses any kind of reference to, we'll just say Andrew Dice Clay. If you guys remember Andrew Dice Clay and his humor, Eddie Murphy's early humor, they made fun of a lot of that community. They hated these people. To this day, they really hate Andrew Dice Clay. They ran him out. Like he hasn't done comedy in a decade. He still does, but nobody watches because he was condemned. And he didn't care, but he paid the price for it, unfortunately, because he was actually kind of funny. But they go against people, they go against organizations, they shut them down if they disagree with them. And now here he is saying, it's satire, it's a joke. Come on. They made Eminem apologize to another rapper because he used the F word, the YAG word. But now all of a sudden, is Eminem satire? He's joking. He's clearly always joking. They shut that down quick. So now, it's so funny. It's just Jesus. This is a problem. And it's not a movie. It was a Broadway play. It's already run its course. It was at the beginning of the month, like a week or two ago. So it did great because that community ran there to support it. But that doesn't mean that their purpose wasn't their purpose. Just like that one painting way back in the day that was Mary, Mother Mary, Virgin Mary, painted with feces. Yeah, like that. What's wrong with it? It's art. It's expression. Okay, but it's blasphemy. Like, what are we doing here? And they pretend like, well, if you don't like it, just don't watch until it's something that they have to deal with.
On the point about the homosexual infiltration, I'm sorry, I think the Catholic priests beat this play there a few decades ago on that front.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
did they beat it like the public schools? Like the public schools beat it, who have 10 or hundreds of times the rate of sexual molestation of children. So I mean, when you talk about predators, for instance, guess what? Predators go where their children are. This is no exception for secular institutions like public schools. So I don't know why you people use this as a talking point. It's a terrible one.
It's not a terrible one because it was known by the upper echelons of the organization and nothing was done about it. But it is fair to say if you're looking for a PDF, go to a school. Go around the school. That's where they're going to be. I had a video of one trying to snatch up a kid. Go to the Boy Scouts. It makes perfect sense. So to bash the whole organization as something, and this does happen a lot to Catholics. And again, because they knew about it and try to hide it, they get what they get. They earn that. They should have taken care of it. So it's not unfair, but to his point, every single organization that has anything to do with children is going to draw that kind of behavior.
It is true.
All right, Mike Nellis. Let me bring in Mike Nellis. I would say this, as a Christian, I'm a Catholic, right? I do think one of the best things about my religion is that we can laugh at ourselves, right? We can self-lampoon. I often laugh at some of the absurdities of my own church, for example. And the fact that Christians have a better tolerance level for mockery than other religions is something to be proud of, isn't it?
Well, I think all the comparisons to Islam are really silly stuff. And
Of course you do. Of course you do. I can go to church and be humorous about things that happen. When people, with the runners, with the people who fall out, every service, like, okay, what are we doing here? You can find humor in anything. That's not the same thing as what this is. What that's not the topic. And I don't know how Piers misses this because he is a Catholic. It's clear, blatant blasphemy, and it's open, and they would not do it. They would not share this humor with other faiths. That's all we're trying to say. What's going on, Roll Rich? Thank you, sir. Like, what are we doing? So, yes, laughing at stuff. So I can be at a funeral. I don't know if everyone can relate, but I can be at a funeral and be like, oh no, please, not now. Please, not now. Because there's going to be someone, should I even go here? There's going to be someone who is going to do too much. And it has nothing to do with the person who passed away. It's a show. I've seen this. I guarantee, especially Black people have seen this. We have people who are going to jump either in the grave or on the casket. And it's like, oh, come on. Yeah, we get it. You love them. We get it. No, we haven't seen you in 3 years. So you can find humor in a lot of situations. That doesn't mean that it's okay to do stuff like this. This is where it's like, it's blatant disrespect. Blatant disrespect.
I'm going to say this as a practicing Catholic. If your faith is so fragile that you're offended about a Black woman playing Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ Superstar, you've got bigger problems than what was going on in the culture war. Second, we've heard a lot of, frankly, some really weird comments about like homosexual infiltration of American society. Like Andrew over there is complaining about people preying on children. I haven't seen Andrew say anything about Donald Trump being in the Epstein files or releasing the Epstein files on here. So I don't really think that's
just a red herring. It's a little red herring.
See how dismissive it is, and of course the alphabet guy all the way to the right is yes. It's like, come on, yeah, Just Jay, come on. We've seen this. I don't like going to funerals because I don't want to get mad, and I get mad when people act. It's like, come on, what are we doing? What are we doing? But it's funny. It's angering and it's funny at the same time to watch somebody. Like, where are you gonna go? So you really want to get buried with them? You really want to go down there? It's impacting you that much. Now, I'm not making light of the pain, but it's like, come on. Oh my God, there's so many videos now of people propping up. They leave the casket open and they're like, they prop the body up to be doing things. Like, this stuff is funny. It's horrible. It's horrible for the person who passed away. But they do it. They'll be sitting up like this with sunglasses on. It's like, oh my God, what are we doing? This is our people. This is just what we deal with, right? We can make fun of that. We can laugh at it because it's as horrible as it is. We see it. Like, you can't ignore it. You just can't. And this guy dismissing it as, he literally said that the comparisons to Islam are silly, not true. When we've seen people get beheaded over making a joke. There was an artist who was almost unalived, but a journalist was literally unalived over showing a portrayal of Muhammad. Or was it Muhammad? I think it was Muhammad or Allah, whichever one. But there was literally people who get unalived just for portraying, because you're not supposed to show an image of him. And it's like, what are we doing? Clearly, you can't do what they're doing. There's no way they can do this play and portray Muhammad. There's just no way. Not possible. People would literally be unalived.
Why do you want these people to destroy your theology if you're a Catholic, sir? They're going after your theology on the public stage. They're taking out the resurrection, a romantic relationship between Jesus and Mary. What is wrong with you? You're not a Catholic. You're a pretender.
What is wrong with you?
Give me a break.
What is wrong with you that your faith is so weak? that a play in Hollywood that's going to be
You
shown
are commanded to defend your faith,
decades.
sir, as a Catholic.
I'm defending my faith
commanded
right
to
now. My
defend your.
faith is how
Are
I
you going to
treat
defend it by rolling over and letting them kick you while you're down, huh? That's
No,
you.
my
That's you
faith is who
defending
I
the faith
love.
of Christ.
My faith is in practice, and my faith is not going online and complaining about musicals.
So this guy, let me show you who this guy is. Mr. Tough Guy here. This dude, he annoys me. He's got a back and forth going on right now with a guy named Adam Carolla. But that's not what I want to show. I want to show this. This is who we're talking about. This is the tough guy we're talking about here. See if I can make, hopefully I can make this big enough so I can read it. Yeah, there it goes. It says, a lot of right-wing trolls mocking my weight today, throwing hurtful comments my way. This is the tough guy you just saw. Here's the truth. When you've struggled with suicidal ideation and obesity like I have, there's nothing anyone can say or do that's worse than what I've done to myself. Nobody can hurt me. So now, this tough guy.
You're online complaining. You're online complaining right now. And the thing is you're
now this tough guy is
commanded to
he's
defend.
weak in his faith. He's weak in his faith. Well, he cries online, and he's made that same post at least a dozen times since last year. You guys are making fun of me and my weight loss. And he tries to stop them from doing it by saying he's suicidal. I was like, all right, now you're tough when it comes to Jesus, because it's not making fun of you. But when they make fun of you, you make posts. Once a month, he does that post. You guys can't hurt me. You're making fun of me. I'm suicidal. Same guy.
Seen Andrew say anything about Donald Trump being in the Epstein files or releasing the Epstein files on here. So I don't really think that's
just a red herring. It's a literal red herring. Why do you want these people to destroy your theology if you're a Catholic, sir? They're going after your theology on the public stage. They're taking out the resurrection, a romantic relationship between Jesus and Mary. What is wrong with you? You're not a Catholic. You're a pretender.
What is wrong with you?
Give me a break.
What is wrong with you that your faith is so weak that a play in Hollywood that's going to be shown?
You are commanded to defend your faith, sir, as a Catholic.
I'm defending my faith right now. My faith is how I
you're going to defend it by rolling over and letting them kick you while you're down, huh?
I could say to him, what is wrong with you that your faith is so weak in yourself that you talk about unaliving yourself? Now, I'm not mocking suicide. I'm talking about this guy in particular because he's mocking stuff and he's not what he says he is. Telling this guy, asking him if his faith is so weak. Are you so weak? What are you talking about, dude? This isn't about that. There is a thing called apologetics. Stand up. You could say something. You don't have to go attack the people, but you can say something. It's okay. I promise you. I promise you. It's okay.
That's you defending the faith of Christ.
My faith is in practice. And my faith is not going online and complaining about musicals. And making
you're online complaining. You're online complaining right now, and the thing is you're attacking Christians and saying, "How dare Christians be offended?" What's wrong with you?
He runs to X to complain about people trolling him. This dude,
Catholic. Andrew, you're supposed to defend the faith. Defend it.
I'll defend my faith.
Oh, but Andrew, let me jump in. Let me jump in. Andrew, did you? Hang on, Mike. I'll come back to you. But just Life of Brian, Andrew, Monty Python. Did you find that funny?
The mockery which was in there? Yeah, I think some parts of it were, sure.
Okay, so why is that acceptable?
But I can tell you this: Monty Python would also they would have gone after Islam and they would have had fun doing it. They didn't care. They were like South Park. They go after everybody.
And I think that's the most important point to be made. South Park. Anyone can get it. Literally anyone. They talk about everyone. That's what makes it good. If they only talked about one side, the other side, no matter what it was, would be complaining about it. But it's really hard to complain one day when they're making fun of Biden, but then the next day they're making fun of Trump. So once they show that they're willing to spread the will, it's okay. Immediately we can say, okay, this is real satire. This is legit. They're not just trying to push an agenda on somebody. They're fair.
This is different. This is distinctly designed. This is distinctly designed to only mock Christianity at the expense of everything else, because that's what these people do. They only care about attacking Christianity. That's all they do. Where's Islam on ice then? Tell me where it is. Oh, these performers, they're so great. They're just making a mockery of a religion. Where is it?
You know,
Nowhere.
just hold on.
Let Mike respond, then I'll come to you, Esther. Mike?
I can't get over this. There's nothing about this that's a mockery of Christianity anymore. And by the way, the same.
There's nothing about this that's a mockery of Christianity, says a so-called Christian. He's not Christian. He's not Catholic. He's lying. He's lying. This is like there was an old skit. I don't remember where it was, but a white dude literally dated a black woman just so he can say racist jokes. That's what this is. He's going to lie, say he's Christian so that he can openly mock Christianity. May have been Jewish. Either way. Yeah, you know, it was Seinfeld. It was Seinfeld. A guy converted to Judaism just so he can say jokes, anti-Semitic jokes. And they're like, is he? Other cultures that take religion seriously, or they do take their religion seriously, they cover their hair, they don't eat swine, they don't drink alcohol, etc., etc. Christians are the only group that don't practice what they preach. Christians are also the only group that admits we are flawed. Not that other people won't admit it, but we admit that we're going to sin. It's in our nature to sin. We are flawed. The difference is we say that we're below everyone else. We're not better than anyone else. That's a big difference in philosophy. I am a flawed human being. I am no better than anyone else. In fact, I am so terrible that I need to have my sins covered for me. And I need to praise that there's an ability, because otherwise I would literally be unalive. Because the punishment for sin is death. No other religion does that. They just say, if you sin, you die. And it's like, okay, how does that work? Because we're going to sin. You're going to sin. So when they cover their hair and all that, okay, that's fine. That's for show. That's for other people to see that they're of faith. So there's a big difference. You can't deed your way out of who you are. You can be a better person, but you can't just get rid of all the bad that we do. And that's again, and in philosophy, there's a big difference.
People who are complaining about this now were complaining when John Legend played the lead in Jesus Christ Superstar about 10 years ago live on it. I believe he won his EGOT performance, by the way. Like, have a little bit of trust and confidence in your faith and your religion, and maybe pick up the Bible or go help somebody else.
I'm sorry, that's completely disingenuous.
Entire talking points.
That's a disingenuous point. No one here is offended. I'm certainly not offended. Let
Esther respond.
What is being highlighted here is the double standards, and to say that it's Christians being thin-skinned or they can't accept it. That's not the case. I'm certainly not offended, but there is clearly a double standard here. You can make these sorts of musicals, but there's never going to be, like Andrew said, a Muhammad on Ice. And do you know why? Yeah. Because there is an issue when it comes to free speech of all religions and mocking all religions. There have been teachers in Paris, or north of Paris, that have been beheaded for making comments about Islam that are not even offensive in the grand scheme of things, but they have been literally either hounded out of their jobs in Britain here or beheaded in parts of France. So this idea that there is no double standard or that you can mock all religions equally, I'm waiting to see the Dalai Lama on ice. And
the reason this happens, and it's not just you, Lou, because a lot of people will look at Christians, us, and that's on us, because a lot of Christians do think they're better than people when we're supposed to be showing people that we're not. It's the complete opposite. So when we say we're saved, it doesn't mean we're better than anyone. It literally means, hey, I am just like you, if not worse. And even I can be accepted. So we're supposed to welcome everyone. We're not supposed to critique everyone who walks through the door. Oh my God, they don't look at her skirt. Look at his short. Why is he wearing shorts? Oh, he's got on a cap. He's got on a baseball hat. Who does he think he is? We're not supposed to do that. So that turns people off, and that is the exact opposite of who we're supposed to be. We're supposed to welcome everybody. We're supposed to welcome the worst of the worst. So you see a lot of churches that do that, and that's why people like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. These people they think they're high and mighty. You hear that. And we've earned that reputation because there are too many churches that do that. That's not how it's supposed to be. And if you see that, they're not doing it right, or they're not being led correctly, or they're not being corrected. Because it's natural. If somebody stinks, like, that smells bad. You want this homeless guy there. You want to help this person. You don't want to critique him because he can't upkeep. And that's not what we're here for. We're supposed to be helping everybody because we know what we do. We know what we do. So we're not supposed to condemn people, and way too many Christians do that. Way too many people do that. Now, that doesn't mean we can't call stuff out, but we're not supposed to. And there's this thing when people talk about judging. I can't judge. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. That saying is not so that you can relieve yourself of all ability to see things and to call it out. That's for final judgment. So when you say, who am I to judge? You're a human being. You make judgments all day long. When you're walking down the sidewalk and you see a group of young men, you're going to cross the street, or you're going to be very, very careful. You're judging. I guarantee you're judging. I promise you're judging. If you see people dress a certain way and you look and you're like, I wouldn't do that. That's a judgment. So you absolutely can judge. Absolutely you can judge. But when people talk about judgment, that's a completely different judgment. That is a final judgment. We can't judge in that way. And that gets confused. And you'll hear a lot of Christians not allow stuff like this because there's really nothing you can do about it. But they won't speak up on things because they think they're judging. That's the judge. That's completely different. That's not what they're talking about when they say, I can't judge. It's not your place to condemn. You are not the final say. That's what they mean when they say you shouldn't judge. You can't judge. You're not qualified. You're not in position. Anyway, sorry. Oh, let me read this. I always say the Most High will settle up when we meet. I'm going to live my life the way I see fit. We're not the best judges. Going right back to what I just said. Our judgments are flawed because we're sinners. It's what we do. You find me a man who has never sinned, and I'll show you Jesus. Because everyone else is lying if they say they don't. They just do. And some people are at least honest about it. They, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I don't care. It's just what it is. TG Jake said, even only like, yeah, that's wild. And then there's people who think that how much finance they contribute will help on their day of judgment. No. It's where your heart is, and are you actually what you're giving? What's the reason you're doing it? Because if it's to save yourself, you're screwed. I'm telling you right now. You are screwed. I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. Yep. Your soul ain't mine to save. I can just try to lead you to where it can be. And that's our role. And I'm not trying to preach. I'm just saying we need to do better at apologetics and standing up and say, hey, come on, man, what are you doing? You don't have to do that. Please don't do that. At least in my presence, don't disrespect what I believe. And we can move on. You can say you don't believe it. I'm not going to sit there and condemn you. Unless you're legitimately trying to actively do stuff like these people do. They're in trouble. And there's still hope for them. But the way they're acting, they're in trouble. I'm not going to say what I think about it. Anyway.
Would you guys support
Okay.
Would you guys support Judaism on ice? I'm asking you specifically, would you support a Jewish musical which bastardized the Jewish religion on ice, where they all dressed up like rabbis and skated around and were mocking Judaism? Would the two of you support that? Yes or no?
Is it funny? I don't care. Are you going to go make it? Like, if you're worried that there's something else, go make it yourself. Like, stop.
What's really interesting is this guy, Mike, the guy with the beard. The the matching guy with the beard. His whole organization is about anti-racism, anti-anti-Semitism, anti bashing of the alphabet community. Literally, that's what he does, is complain all day about people making fun of or disliking what he likes. And now here he is saying it's not a big deal. It's just Jesus. It's not a big deal. So you'll defend the guy next to you and his lifestyle, but you won't defend who you say is your Lord and Savior. Come on, man. Really? What are we doing here?
Whining
Here's what's
about
weird. So here's what's weird here. What
Okay, don't all talk at once. Okay, listen. Okay, hang on, Ernest. I want to change topic. We've got a few things to get through. I want to bring in the Sydney Sweeney.
So that was the end of that, and they're going to go talk about the jeans thing, which is even more interesting to me because, well, I'll point it out as it starts happening.
Thing. Ernest, what is your view of this furore over the Good Genes ad? Let's have a look at it first and then respond.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has great genes.
Were you genuinely offended by the Good Genes ad?
I wasn't offended. I just thought it was tacky. And I think what's funny here is that it's.
So the jeans ad is tacky, but a bald head, black, bisexual woman playing Jesus that's funny. It's okay. What's going on? KFC, what's up? You see how quick they flip? Jeans ad tacky. Oh, I don't like it. But he literally just got through dismissing mocking Jesus. It's funny. It's just satire. Get over it. Why didn't he just say that right now? He could have said the exact same thing. But immediately flips.
Become politicized in such a way. I thought it was tacky because I thought the pun on it was tacky. The jeans and jeans, I just thought they knew what they were doing when they did the ad.
Did they know what they were doing when they put a black lesbian or bisexual woman and portrayed her as Jesus? They knew what they were doing. Earlier, he was saying, it's not for you. Don't worry about it. What's the difference? Well, actually, one's way worse, but what's the difference? In logically, what's the difference?
One, it's doing exactly what you all want to do, which is to make it this major culture war. Now the president's weighing in on this, and we're not talking about jobs. We're not talking about what's going on with the economy.
But it only becomes a culture war, Ernest. Ernest. It only becomes a culture war if people like you get upset by it, because obviously it was a very easy pun to make. She was in good genes. She's got good genes. She's a hot blonde. Who cares, right? But the moment people like you go, well, it was tacky, everyone goes, well, here they go again.
No, it's people like you who have the show. It's people like you.
Hang on one second, Mike. Speak individually.
It's people like you. It's people like Tommy Lauren, the conservatives, that every time you see liberal people just share their disgust.
I'm not conservative, Ernest. I'm not conservative, Ernest.
How do you describe yourself?
You are misidentifying me, which in your world is a crime.
But no, how are you? You call me extra
not as a conservative. You are politically gendering me. You are politically. I want an apology. I want an apology for you politically gendering me. Now, I'm
sorry.
You called me a conservative. I'm not.
What are you?
Are you apologizing?
I can't apologize for what I don't know what you are.
I'll tell you what
excuse me, last time I checked, he was a black lesbian.
I will respond. I am a pissed off liberal who has nothing in common with the woke world. Nothing. So therefore I can no longer identify as a liberal because you guys have hijacked it and made it sound like a bunch of lunatics.
I have seen this guy, Ernest, the black dude or the black person all the way on the corner, cry. Not literally cry, but complain nonstop about MAGA and how it's racist and how they're evil and how they disrespect his people, the alphabet people. All of a sudden, he's got a great sense of humor when it's going the opposite direction. Isn't that weird how he can do that? It's the same guy. Now he's this callous macho man. Well, macho person. Macho they, them. Same with the guy, the other guy. All he does is complain about essentially vocal crimes. This person said this, they're anti-Semitic. We need to shut them down. That's what he does for a living. But when it happens to something he doesn't care about, all of a sudden, there's no urgency. It's on you. Get over it. You have a weak sense of faith.
But what's crazy is you put the woke title on me, and I haven't identified that, and you've been doing that forever. You never actually, you just assumed for various reasons. I'm not going to tell you why.
If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck.
Well, I would say
then it's a duck.
It's acting like a mega supporter.
But here's my question. Ernest. Here's my question. Ernest, here's my question. I'm prepared to put aside your mystical gendering of me. I just want to show you a picture of Beyonce in a brand new Levi's ad. Let's take a look. Now, I presume, Ernest, you would share my view that this is a disgraceful, culturally appropriating moment where she is hijacking Marilyn Monroe in a disgraceful manner. In fact, borderline racist and possibly akin to the Nazis. Would you agree?
You actually don't know anything about cultural appropriation, Pierce. You're just hijacking words like woke, misusing them with your political bias, and trying to.
I have seen Ernest complain about white women and braids. I've seen Ernest complain about white men in dreads because they were culturally appropriating what he believes. So now he's just pointing out, and obviously he's trolling, but he's saying, well, she's got blonde hair. Is she appropriating a different culture? We had a really, really big thing about Rachel Dolezal a few years back. She said she identifies as black. At that time, outrage, nothing but outrage. Now you can identify as a cat. And this guy, Ernest, would say, well, if she wants to be a cat, let her be a cat. There's no consistency. There's no logic. It never follows all the way through. If you take their logic all the way to its core, it never matches with what they do or say. And I'm going to prove it even more.
Into something that's not. Can
you answer the question?
You're wrong. Period.
Are you offended by Beyonce culturally appropriating Marilyn Monroe? Yes or no?
I'm not culturally appropriating Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe did not invent blonde.
I remember a few years back, big trend of pointing out people who wore blackface. Was it racist? Of course it was. Did all of the people mean what we see it as now back then? Not all of them. Some of them did. Some of them were flat out racist. Some of them legitimately thought that it was funny. What they were doing was funny. But we cast them all under the same umbrella and tried to cancel them all. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Interesting.
Did she invent blonde?
She's looking like Marilyn Monroe for a reason.
Can I jump in here?
Is this a traditional black hair?
No, hang on, Mike. I want to bring in Andrew Wilson. Andrew Wilson, what is amazing to me? But hang on, let me bring in Andrew. What's amazing to me? Sydney Sweeney, a hot white blonde in jeans, saying good jeans, disgraceful, world end, she's a Nazi, white supremacist.
You said
Beyonce culturally appropriating Marilyn Monroe, absolutely fine, in fact empowering. Andrew Wilson.
Yeah, this entire scandal is completely pushed by the left. What you guys should have done is just shut up. Should have just shut up. You shouldn't have said anything about it. This whole play on jeans, it was just a clever piece of wordplay. That's it. Worked.
To be fair, Andrew, you were just complaining also. So this isn't just one-sided. For me, it's not just one-sided. Because everyone can say, Andrew, you could have just shut up. You could have just shut up about that play. To be fair, I'm just being fair here. So everyone just flips. Isn't that crazy? because no one thinks about it all the way through. They're not being fair. Andrew, you could have just shut up. The right does it, the left does it. I try to be fair. Going back to what I was talking about earlier, my purpose is to be fair. And when I have a bias, I'll let you know. I have no problem letting you know. But what I don't do is what they're doing here. I don't do this. They're all hypocrites. Literally everyone out there, except for the black chick. She's been pretty fair. She pointed out the Catholic thing. And I like her accent.
Out real well. And what you did by all your Twitter accounts going crazy with this is you sold all of these jeans out for this company, right? Made this chick tons of money, gave the right huge amounts of ammunition to use on you, where we just point and laugh because it's the dumbest controversy I've ever seen. And it's all pushed by woke lunatics, all of it.
Andrew, you kind of went on social media and complained about a play. You could have just sat back and not said anything. There's a lot of people in their community that are laughing at it. Again, to be fair. To me, I'm going to be fair. I don't like it now. I think it's way more serious because now we're talking about God. But at least point out that that's why you have an issue with one thing and you don't have an issue with jeans. So, just change.
It was going to be done regardless.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
But I find it interesting that Ernest is saying that we should focus on the issues. Suddenly, when this happens, now we have to focus on the issues. The only reason why there's any sort of media storm around this is because when people, I don't want to say conservatives, when other people wanted to focus on the issues, you had people fixating on nonsense, and you had people fixating on the fact that they'd been misgendered, or for some reason their blue hair hadn't been respected, or whatever nonsense that they could get outraged by the day. I agree, there are bigger issues like the economy, like energy and all of that. But you guys started this, unfortunately, so you don't get to complain about it. I'm sorry, Sydney Sweeney is an attractive white woman. When you have someone like Lizzo, who I'm not surprised is offended by a skinny woman just enjoying herself, saying that this is some sort of racist wordplay or whatever, that's when it becomes an issue. So you don't get to play this game of, oh, we should focus on the issue. That's what people were trying to do for years, and you never let it happen. So this is Schadenfreude, and you're going to have to lie down and accept it. And then finally, when the adults are back in the room, then we can focus on the issues.
What is Schadenfreude? Sorry. Schadenfreude. Interesting. You guys know what Schadenfreude is? You want to see what it is? Anytime I hear a word that I don't know, I'm sorry. I have to look it up. I apologize. This was instilled in me before I could read. I told you, some of you guys, this before. My mom used to read to me before I could read, and she would make me sound out words. She would have me sound out words, and she would make me, as soon as I was able to read, I started having to do book reports. But before I could read, she would read it, and then I would have to tell her the purpose of the story. So this started really early with me, really early. Before I could even read, I was doing book reports. So this is just me. I apologize. Schadenfreude. I'm sorry. I got to see what this is. Pleasure derived by someone from another person's misfortune. I just did all that just for that. Sorry. Now you know what Schadenfreude means.
I'm thinking of starting a company, an advertising company, where all it does is think of ways of winding up the woke world so that they respond in a po-faced, humorless manner to all the advertising I roll out for companies, immediately creating a culture war, which they deny starting, and then immediately leading to massive new sales, as we've seen with American Eagle, for the products that the woke world is condemning. Because you know what? I've got a book coming out in a couple of months called Woke is Dead. It is dead. And the Sydney Sweeney story is a great example of why it's dead. And it's not...
You know, what I think this is all Schadenfreude. Sorry.
Not dead because people are fed up with promoting awareness of social and racial injustice, the original definition of woke. It's dead because woke got hijacked And wokeism became the new fascism, and people are sick of it. And the Sydney Sweeney thing is a brilliant triumph for common sense by American Eagle, who rather than panic when the woke left went nuts, just laughed and put out another statement, doubling down and celebrating what Sydney Sweeney had done, which was look hot in a pair of jeans, exactly as Levi's are doing with Beyonce. And by the way, I don't really think she's culturally appropriating Marilyn. I don't really think she's racist or a Nazi. I think she looks hot in a pair of jeans. That's it. I don't care if she's black or white. She, like Sydney Sweeney, is a hot woman in a hot pair of jeans, and they've both got great jeans. How about those onions?
All right, do I get to talk now? Is it my turn?
I hate when people do that, because everyone's quiet, and then, can I speak now? Are you gonna let me talk? Is it okay to speak now? I hate when people do that. Clearly, it's time to talk. You're trying to think of what you want to say, so you're gonna play this weird passive aggressive thing. And are we good? Can I speak now? Yes, you can speak. Because when I was trying to speak, you were interrupted. In person, that for me, that's going to cause a fight. To be fair, I used to fight over everything. So not much. It doesn't take much to make me want to smack somebody. But when people do that, I just want to hit them. It drives me crazy. It really drives me crazy. Can I say something now? Yeah, you can speak. Oh, but because you were interrupting me before. Okay, speak. You sure? Because I'm gonna start talking, huh? Oh man. In person, if you want to fight me, do that. That's automatic. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yes, you do, Mike.
Okay, great. All right, great. I think this conversation is really fucking stupid, and I have no other way to describe it. Like, there are like 5 dumbass liberals on the internet who decided that this ad was offensive.
5. All right, let's see if there were 5. This is Associated Press. This is where everyone gets their general news from. All the news organizations goes to the AP to find out what happened yesterday or what's happening right now, what happened today. Some critics saw the wordplay as a nod, either unintentional or deliberate, to eugenics, a discredited theory that held humanity could be improved through selective breeding in certain traits. I'm not putting that up, Pilot. I'm cool with it. So there's 5 people. It made AP. Maybe they went a little too far with their reporting. It's possible. Let's see. E-News, entertainment news. The ad campaign, in which Sydney's tagline refers to her great genes, sparked swift backlash on social media, with some users suggesting American Eagle was promoting eugenics with the wordplay of genes and genes. All right, just 5 people, according to that guy, because he likes to downplay. Mr. Tough Guy likes to downplay stuff. All right, let's see. This is NPR, paid for by you guys, not anymore, but the ad campaign that launched 1,000 critiques. Sydney Sweeney's genes. 5 equal 1,000? Greater than or less than? What else does it say within that article? That's the main character of the week, by the way. No outrage, no outrage. It says, what's the big deal? The company's creative choices have prompted some to say that the ad campaign promotes eugenics. Again, there's that word. A discredited scientific theory popular among white supremacists that the human race could be improved by breeding out less desirable traits. Others are saying the uproar is the culture's response from societies hell-bent on sexualizing women. All right, we're talking about eugenics now. We just brought in race, white supremacists. Okay. And to be fair, that is true. That's what eugenics is. They wanted to breed out, what's going on, True? They wanted to breed out Black people and other races that were less desirable. They wanted the blonde hair, blue eyes. And then you can breed that out by getting rid of those other people and castrating or not allowing them to breed. Make sense? Sick, isn't it? I think so too. Here's another article. Oh no, this is the rest of it. And a lot of people are taking issue with hypersexualized nature of the ads, especially since the company says the ad campaign is supposed to raise domestic violence awareness, a cause Sweeney is passionate about. And 100% of the purchase price of the jeans will be donated to Crisis Text Line, a charity that offers mental health services. So they're saying this is bad. This is really, really bad. But that guy said only 5 liberals had anything to say. They were just whining, complaining. Okay, now there's the next article called The Conversation. It says, why Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle campaign is part of a wider cultural backlash. Okay, so is it 5 liberals, like he said? These are all articles on the same thing. It says an innocent marketing or intentional dog whistle. Dog whistle to who? It says eugenics is a discredited ideology rooted in white supremacy. Exact same wordage. Just listen. In scientific racism. It promotes the false belief that racial groupings are biologically determined and that some groups are genetically superior to others and should be selected and should selectively reproduce or preserve the good genes. So this is what they've dug all the way into her saying my genes are good. Clearly it was a pun, but maybe it could be this. It really could be. Historically, the end goal of eugenics has been to eliminate so-called bad genes, often associated with non-white, disabled, poor, otherwise marginalized communities. So social critics can maintain their dominance. Cool. What's going on, Ms. Baker? This is the route they went down that he downplayed. The Guardian. Born in the USA is American Eagle really using whiteness to sell jeans? So we're headed down this path that guy said only 5 people complained about. And this is all the news from that whole week. Actually, it's this week. This is new. This is a new scandal. And within that article, it says critics were quick to point out the implications of the advert's wordplay in one video that has more than 3 million views. Ooh, this is bad. 3 million views. A TikTok user compared it to fascist propaganda, adding, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes like that is Nazi propaganda. So again, we're literally seeing mainstream news following a story that he said only 5 people complained about. Says, on the brand's own channels, users are battling it out in the comment section. It's giving subtle 1930s Germany. Again, another Nazi reference. This is what we're doing. Okay, Salon Magazine, another liberal newspaper. It says Sydney Sweeney's new ad campaign draws fire for racial undertones. American Eagle's new ad campaign faces backlash over slogans some say reflects eugenicists' ideas of beauty. Okay. Have I given enough examples yet? Maybe I'm too woke. One viral post read. Viral? I thought it was only 5 people complaining. Anyway, but getting a blue-eyed, blonde, white woman and focusing your campaign on her having perfect genetics feels weird. Others describe the slogan as too close to master race propaganda. It said it echoed the eugenics era language used to validate and promote superiority of white beauty. You know, Chinese do the same thing. Just saying. Japanese used to do the same thing. It's not just about white. There are people who legitimately think they're superior. That's just what it is. There are a lot of black people who think we're superior. It's actually pretty normal. There are a lot of Mexicans who believe they're superior. It's actually pretty normal. Now, that doesn't mean you go out and try to eliminate the other people, but I'm just saying this is not a white thing. Eugenics movements in the U.S. often promoted the idea of good genes. This is the exact same thing. I don't have to read this. It's the exact same thing. I just showed you guys 6 mainstream publications pushing something that guy said only 5 liberals. He's trying to downplay it. Only 5 liberals were complaining about it. They're just whining. They're just whining. So they're now worried about eugenics. That's my question. Let's do this really quick. And I apologize because this is gonna, I'm just saying. Anytime a liberal starts trying to gaslight me, I gotta say something. So what we're gonna do, this is the Planned Parenthood website. Let's make this bigger, shall we? Let's go down. Sorry for the detour. It's this right here says, who are we? I don't know. Who are you, Planned Parenthood? Who are we? This is who we are. Let's go over right here to the history of Planned Parenthood. Let's see. Can I click on it? There we go. Let's see. It's talking about the origins and oh, here we go. Affordable sexual and reproductive health care. Okay. Hey, here's a video on a lady named Margaret Sanger. I wonder who she is. Anyway, Planned Parenthood traces its roots back to a nurse named Margaret Sanger. She grew up in an Irish family of 11 children in Corning, New York. Her mother, in fragile health from many pregnancies, including 7 miscarriages, died at 50. Let's keep going down and let's see what this woman was really about. Sanger went to travel and share her vision. What was her vision? Oh! Sanger believed in eugenics. An inherently racist and ableist ideology labeled by certain people unfit to have children. Eugenics is a theory based on society can be improved through planned breeding desirable traits. Just what those other people were saying. Now, here's the weird part about it. And here's why I'm pointing this out. The same liberals who are complaining about a jeans ad having references to eugenics are the same people who promote Planned Parenthood, which was founded on the idea of eugenics. Right here, she spoke to the KKK at a rally in New Jersey to promote birth control methods. She was doing this so that they could forcibly sterilize people deemed unfit without their consent. Now, it's not without the consent, but why do liberals push Planned Parenthood? It's eugenics. They're outright saying it. Here's the funny part. Not funny, but disgusting, actually. Planned Parenthood focuses on Black and Latino demographics. Doesn't mean they don't perform it for white people, because if you're going to perform an abortion as a white woman, they don't want you anyway. You're not considered their class. 20 million Black babies have been unalived by Planned Parenthood alone. It sounds to me like eugenics. It sounds like they are trying to push a vision based on a belief that we're just not fit. We shouldn't be here. We don't need them. We need to promote it so that they think it's their choice, and preach to them nonstop that it's a healthcare issue. You don't have enough money. You don't need a baby. What are you going to do with a baby? Come on, it's going to ruin your life. They're using influence, back to my last live, to convince young Black women that it is a burden to have a kid. Now, it may be in some cases, but they make it inherently a burden because they feel it is an ideology that labels certain people unfit to have children. This is the irony of eugenics. They promote it and then condemn it. This is why they're doing it. It couldn't be clearer. It's on their website. It's literally on their website. Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, which all liberals, not all, we'll just say most liberals promote. She pronounced her belief in an alignment with eugenics movement many times in her writings, especially in scientific journal Birth Control. So that's why they call it birth control. Just saying. Just saying. So when I say they're coming for your kids, it's literal. I mean, it couldn't be clearer. It couldn't be clearer. And we're watching a video where those same people are complaining about a jeans ad because it suggests the possibility of white superiority, while they promote Planned Parenthood, which is literally founded on white superiority. Literally. They say it. It's on their website. This is the same people. We have we're not forcibly sterilizing people deem them fit. We're convincing them that it's better for them, it's best for them. And how do we do that? You can't afford it. We'll give you a check. We'll give you a check. We'll support you. Can't get a job. We'll support you, but we're going to have to cap you out on a certain amount of kids, because after that, we're not going to give you any more money. Can't have a man around either, by the way. Just saying. If he's there, we're not going to help you. They force the thought process. That's what they do. Let's go back to the jeans ad.
And then the entire conservative ecosystem decided to make it the biggest story of the day because they didn't want to talk about the economy. They didn't want to talk about Trump being in the Epstein files. They didn't want to talk about anything else that's going on. They made their entire personalities about this. Woke, Pierce, you've got a book coming out that woke is dead. You can't let woke die because you'll have no business model. You'll have no book to sell. You'll have no guest to book. Nobody who's interested in what you have to say. There are people online who are deeply unserious and deeply unfunny and aren't interested in having any fun. I think this is the same as people bitching about Cynthia Erivo playing Jesus Christ Superstar. Get a life. Go touch some grass. Like Sydney Sweeney's hot. It's an ad about jeans. Beyonce's hot. It's an ad about jeans.
Yeah, but Mike, let me.
I agree with him there. The problem is his entire career is based on complaining about these things that he's dismissing right now, and he's only dismissing them right now because he kind of has to in order to try and pretend that he's consistent. Mr. Tough Guy, the guy who cries on a monthly basis about people making fun of him online. They're talking about my weight. I got suicidal. I'm not mocking suicide. I'm mocking him because this is the tough guy. You can't turn around and do that.
Jump in.
No, it's just so
Mike,
ridiculous.
let me jump in. Let me jump in. Let me jump in.
Go ahead,
Here's the point. There is a double standard. Mike, there is a double standard about the Cynthia Erivo thing, right? There's a double standard because if I suddenly announced I want to play Nelson Mandela in a biopic of Nelson Mandela's life, you and Ernest would lead the outrage about how disgusting it was that I would do that.
I stopped putting words in our mouths.
You would find it disgusting.
Get two shits if you were going to do something like.
They're both lying. I've seen Ernest complain again about white women who have braids. You think he would be okay with Piers Morgan playing Nelson Mandela in a film? I have seen Ernest complain about Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. I understand it, but I thought it was hilarious. So to him say, "Don't put words in my mouth," I've seen you do it. I've seen you complain about this very topic. And now you're acting like, oh, I wouldn't care if you played Nelson Mandela. You're lying, dude. You're lying.
Exactly.
It's
like you wouldn't care if I played Nelson Mandela.
You don't want to. Who cares?
It's like it's the number.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna jump in.
You don't care. You don't care. And I think that's the reality.
Can you work out which wokie's going to go first, please?
What are you saying? Like you need to put people in a box. You're like talking about how you have this binary of like everything is either all the way one way or not. No one cares.
There's a thing called the intersectional ladder. And what that means is you got to put everyone in a box. Are they black? Are they Latino? Are they Asian? Are they white? This is what they do. Literally. Are they cisgender? Otherwise, breeders. Are they breeders? Are they in the LGBTs and Qs and pluses? They put everyone in a box. And then if you offend anyone in any of those boxes, they get mad at you. This guy, this is really, really funny. The Mike guy, the guy next to Ernest, who's the black guy, black person. He literally helped run Kamala Harris's campaign, which was based on putting everyone in a box. They poll people for a living based on gender, race, sexuality. It's literally what they do. Anytime the left accuses somebody of something, it's what they do. What they're accusing you of is what they do. You're putting everybody in a box. That's literally what this dude does. For a living, both of them. That's what they do.
Like, it's not that deal. Like, I think the problem is that you look at the internet.
If only that was true, Ernest. Ernest, if only that was true. If only we hadn't spent the last 5 years with people like you absolutely caring, which is why the world went woke nuts.
Again, I can say people like you about a lot of things. You overreact about the dumbest stuff. Like, the Sydney Sweeney thing is a non-issue.
Well, I'm not saying Ernest.
Got mad, and now you want to act like you're defending common sense because you're overreacting to a bunch of liberals on the internet that said something. I don't care.
It's only overreaction when you're on the losing end of the issue.
Ernest, hang on. Ernest. I'm not saying that you're part of a woke cult, you and Mike. You have turned out today in exactly the same purple shirts, and I'm not saying you're a woke cult, but
mine's. I think this is.
I mean, look,
like maroon.
It's like a uniform.
Suddenly, you guys don't care when you're on the losing end of an issue, right? If you're on the winning end of the issue, you would care. And the truth is, we've seen this how many times where you guys freak out over nothing. The left freaks out over absolutely nothing like this. And all that happens is once you start losing the issue, then it's everyone's overreacting, and it's actually the conservatives' fault.
No, see, that's bullshit.
Conservatives
we want to talk about the issues.
We didn't push this, bro.
Let's talk about the issues, even though on the issues, the Democrats are at an all-time low in opinion polls. But let's talk about the issues, because that's where the left is really
So is Donald Trump. Donald Trump's approval ratings free-falling right now. So, like, you guys have a level
Yeah, but he's president. That's the difference. That's the difference.
Yeah, but you know what, Mike?
What she just did was brilliant. Brilliant. Because every time we, on the right, that's where I lean, every time we would talk about Joe Biden and his approval ratings, they would say exactly what she said. She knew what she was doing. Brilliant. Because that's literally what they would say. Yeah, but he's the president. That's literally what they would say. So when she did that, I was like, oh, this chick's really smart. I like her. And I like her accent.
You cannot live on that.
You know what, Mike? Donald Trump is. Don't talk at once. Donald Trump is back. Hang on. Donald Trump is back in the White House, Mike, because after 4 years of him being out of the White House, Americans went. So let me get this. Hang on, Ernest. Donald Trump is back in the White House because Americans went, actually, we don't think it's right that biological men compete in women's sport. It's bullshit. And we've had enough of this. So,
and he's sitting there, woke is dead. Woke is dead. Talking about DEI, which is literally placing everyone into boxes. He's been on this show several times. I've seen him argue. All the stuff that he's saying is not a big deal. I've watched him complain about it.
Yes, it was the economy. Right. Yes, it was immigration. But also, it was an antidote to wokeism. Let me bring in Esther or something else.
I want to push back on this, Pierce.
We might agree. Well, no, we haven't got time. We're moving on to Jim Acosta.
Oh, come on. No, Pierce, like, you talked for like 3 minutes on this. You gave me like 10 seconds for my response.
It's my show. I can do what I like.
All right.
We're moving on.
That's all I got for today. The only reason I kept it going through the Sydney Sweeney thing was because you could just see all of them flip positions and do exactly what the other side was saying on the other position. I don't like people playing with faith. You don't have to believe. You don't have to agree. But when you start openly doing what they're doing, changing the gender, it's open mocking. It's blasphemy. We know what it is. Don't pretend like it's not. At least just say, yeah, it is. Okay, I like it. Then I can say, okay, well, you like it. At least you're willing to acknowledge what it is. But if you just pretend and gaslight me and act like I'm the one who's crazy for seeing that a black bisexual woman is supposed to be portraying Jesus, we have a problem. Don't lie in my face. Please don't lie. Anyway, Miss Just J, as always, I appreciate you. Lou, what's up, sir? Thank you. Thank you. Miss Baker, thank you for stopping by. KMC, thanks for good seeing you again. Miss True, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Uncle L, as always, thank you, sir. Island Milligan, thank you, man. Good to see you. Appreciate you stopping by. G Will, as always, appreciate you, sir. Who else was in here? That's Just Jay. That might be everybody. Anyway, thank you guys all so much. I appreciate you. Ro Rich was in here also. Almost forgot. Thanks, man. Appreciate you for stopping by. Again, my purpose, Miss Chicago, my purpose is to not just come here and ramble about things. It's to point out things that you may have heard but didn't hear fairly. You may have heard the left side of it. Some of you may have heard the right side of it. I'm here to try and portray it and interpret it fairly for you guys. That's my purpose. And because our people don't like talking politics or faith, I have no issue doing it. And hopefully I can do it in a way that makes sense. Hopefully that you guys can say, oh, okay, that's why I keep hearing this thing over and over and over and over. When I talk about issues like the alphabet mafia, I'm not trying to, when I say they're coming for your kids, again, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to say, hey, teach your kids the right thing. So when they see the wrong thing, they can either call it out or ask you about it so you can explain it even better. When I talk about stuff like the Olympics and letting men beat up on women for medals, I'm not saying, go home and cry about it or be angry about it. You should be angry about it. But I'm saying don't allow that to happen in your schools, because this is where it's going. It can go no other way. They're going to try and infiltrate. It's what they do. Who is they? I don't know. Every conspiracy has a they. You got to figure it out. In some cases, it's the alphabet mafia. In some cases, it's just leftists. In some cases, it's literally fascists. People who were literally committing treason, trying to put a former president in prison. They were about to sentence the man. How you doing, Miss Eve? So there's always a they. You just got to figure out who the they is and then teach your kids the opposite. That's it. I'm O Speaks. Share this again. Share this with somebody who you know will disagree. One, it's funny. And two, I would like to talk to them. I honestly would like them to come and say, I want to hit the link. And then we can have a conversation. And we can see where we differ and we can see where we agree. But also share with somebody who you think would like it. Someone who you know is a closeted MAGA supporter. That here they can have a safe haven. Again, I'm O Speaks. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Again, we're headed towards 600. I was not expecting that. That was never my goal. It's awesome that it's happening. And now, hey, I'm ready to roll. Let's do it. We can do this. I appreciate all of your support. If you want to support, you can follow me on Twitter. If you're watching this on Rumble right now, you can follow me on YouTube. You guys can follow me on Rumble. All my links are in the description. I put them in the chat earlier. If you want to support the CashApp, hit me up on CashApp. Again, I wasn't expecting to do this. It just started happening, and I think people want information. I don't know which people want information, but I'm gearing it in a way purposefully. I'm gearing it in a way that I think I can help people. And that's what I'm all about. So Uncle L, appreciate you as always, man. Thank you all very much. And we're done.